All right, everybody. Well, hey, welcome to another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday. My name's Ken Close, Healy World member, engineer, and epigenetic coach of the world. I love this technology. You guys can't, you probably won't find me anywhere without it. So, this is my go-to on most things. And I'm joined tonight by Jake Barron. He's the head of operations for Americas. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Hello, Ken. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we've got a customer service representative. Dongni is in the background. Everyone say hello to Dongni. Welcome to our Tech Tip Tuesday fun.
Tech Tip
Um,
Tuesday special edition.
Special edition, and we'll tell you why. I'll let Jake tell you why in a little bit. But I want to tell
Yep.
you guys, if you guys are brand new, well, first of all, welcome to Tech Tip Tuesday. Thanks for being here. If you've been here before, great, you know how it works. This is a forum in which we put the questions, anything Healy. I mean, the technology, the theories, the how-tos, all that kind of stuff. You put your questions in the chat, and we will unpack them live on the call. What we can't do is we can't talk about anything that has to do with diagnosing or preventing or any kind of disease, or even recommending any particular programs for diseases, but we can point you to resources for that if that kind of thing is what you're needing to know. But we have a special episode tonight of Tech Tip Tuesday, and we've been doing this for a while. Tech Tip Tuesday has been around for a bit, and every now and then Jake throws a little extra spin into the event. And so, Jake, tell us what we're doing tonight.
Well, yeah. So back in December, we did a 2024 year-end celebration, and we had a couple of cool exclusive giveaways centered around tech tip trivia or tech trivia in general, Healy trivia, that kind of thing. It was a lot of fun. So we said, look, let's do this once per quarter going forward. Let's not wait a whole year to have the next celebration. So we're going to do that during the call. We have 3 giveaways during the call today. So we'll space them out a little bit here. And the questions will get progressively more difficult as the evening goes on.
I love it. I love it. That's gonna be fun. I mean, so like I said, you guys brush up on your Tech Tip Tuesday knowledge. And for those of you, some of you guys are like regulars, so you've been around the block, you know what we do here. So those they may be easy for you, but those of you who have not, well, you're in for a surprise. All right, so why don't we
And we
get
have some people on the call tonight that won back in December, so maybe they'll get lucky again. Not lucky because you have to get the question right to to win. But yes, another chance to win.
exactly? I love it. Okay, well, so let's get this party started. If you guys have a question now, and again, there's no question that's too big. There's no question that's too small. So don't be shy. Put it out there. We always love to expand on things, and even if it's something you just want to expand on that you've been trying out or you never have tried out before. Healy is such a versatile product that it's like, we don't often think of all of the things that it can do. And in fact, I'm still learning about things that it can do. Every now and then I'll come across something that a little aha moment. You guys ever had one of those? It's like, whoa, aha,
Uh-huh.
right? And so it's like, no matter how long you've been here or with Healy, and I won't say how long I've been with Healy because I might date myself here, but it's been a while. So come on, throw some questions out there. And if you don't have some, we're going to start talking about something interesting anyway.
Yeah, well, actually, we do have a little segment here that we can go right to while we're waiting for the. I know the questions build throughout the call here. Usually, one thing leads to a whole other series of questions. So if we want, we can actually go. Let's go right to these questions. So there's a new segment we wanted to kind of introduce. And Emmanuel, who was on the call or 2 weeks ago. He's been in our tech support team, but it was his first time sort of participating on Tech Tip Tuesday. Had the great idea. Why don't we have like a trending topics segment. So our amazing tech support team, it doesn't have to be every single thing that's brand new this week, but in general, sort of things that have been popping up, questions. So this week, Dongni is on the call, and she put together a list of trending topics specifically related to the HealAdvisor Analyze app. So let's start with that, and then maybe that'll go. We can kind of branch off from there to start the call. So let me go ahead and pull this up here, and we'll share my screen. Let's see. Okay, let me go back here, and just 1 second.
So there's a question while you're booting that up there. Dory's asking about, do you know why Telegram stopped working for my computer and what I can do about it? It only works on my phone. So that's a great question when it comes to an app, right? That's on your computer. Sometimes when there's an update, right? And if your update of the app is above and beyond the capabilities of your computer, then you need to do an update on the computer to make the app work properly. But what I would do is, it's an app or just like a program, right? And so you can reload it on your computer if it's not working. If it's even on your computer at all, say it's on your desktop, you can delete it, right? And you can go back and reinstall it. No different than what we do on our smartphones. How many times have you been told to delete the app and reinstall it, right? Because there was something going on. Same thing here. I'd highly recommend going there. Sometimes it's a authentication issue. So in other words, your Telegram account is associated with your login credentials. And if something went haywire there, then you're not logged into Telegram anymore on your computer. There's another option right there to make sure that you are logged in. If you're not sure if you're logged in or not on Telegram or on anything that requires that on your computer, somewhere on the screen itself, there's going to be an icon of either your image or a silhouette of some sort. You click on that. Usually there's a drop down right there. Usually it's the top right of the corner of the program. There's a drop down. It'll say log out or it'll say log in if you're not logged in. And if you're not logged in, that's a clue right there why the app isn't working in the first place, because you're not logged in. So a couple things to look at.
Yeah, I'm not familiar exactly with the Telegram specific setup instructions, but if it's similar to WhatsApp, I know I use Telegram, but WhatsApp, a lot of times you get logged out on the computer and you have to reconnect your phone to the computer or whatever like that, just to sync them basically again. So yeah, it could be something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the app, by the way,
yeah,
Telegram. By the way, guys, hang on. Just Telegram apps, WhatsApp apps, all of those things are designed for the phone. So typically, when you have them on your computer, there is an authentication through your phone in order for the computer to work, right? So making sure that are legit. All right, go ahead, Jake. What do you got?
Let me share my screen. We'll go right to this segment here. So, as I mentioned, this is Analyze App Trending Topics brought to you by Dongni, who's of course helping us out on the chat today. So some of these questions, we'll just go through these, just spend a couple minutes here, but you might think, well, that's obvious or whatever, but these questions come up quite a bit still. So first point here, the HealAdvisor Analyze 2 app has replaced the original HealAdvisor Analyze app, or the blue dot app, or whatever people are used to calling it. And you might think, well, that happened over a year ago, everyone should know. But no, not everyone knows. And sometimes, some people may have been involved with Healy a while ago, and then they found their Healy, like, I want to get back into this, I want to start using it again. And they go to open the app and they're like, well, it's not working anymore. What happened here? So we get these questions, not all the time, but they still pop up every week, every month, where someone's needing assistance with that. And then we point them, of course, to, and the next point here, the original Analyze app connection, you get the message, cloud server failed, solved by switching to the new version of the Analyze app. So a lot of times it's just saying, oh, I wasn't aware that there was this new, awesome, easier to use Analyze app, and you tell people where to go to download the new one. They download it. Okay, great, good to go at that point as well. So, there's something to keep in mind. Not all of us are fully up to speed and on Tech Tip Tuesday every single week or following along and that kind of thing. So, yeah, those are a couple things. And then next year you'll see how the data is synced. Back in the original Analyze app, there was you could do a manual sync. You could set it to auto sync, but you could also do a manual sync. So say you added, I don't know, a bunch of new clients and you want to sync this or whatever, you could go to the settings section. I think it was actually the cloud. It's been a while now, the cloud section or something like that. Click manually sync, and it would go through this sort of process. So with a new Analyze app, when you open it, it automatically happens in the background. There's no button to push or anything like that. So another thing to keep in mind, we have gotten that question just this month. They've gotten it several times this year as far as how do I sync my clients or how do I sync my list? I just put some new stuff in here, but it's easy now. It does it automatically. There's no yes or no. I need to figure out where to go to do that. So it's an improvement in the user experience. But if you're not aware of that, I can see, of course, you want to make sure everything is synced up there. So just something to keep in mind there. And then this comment here about having a stable internet connection to have the data automatically synced. So Ken, we've talked about this a lot, right, on the call, making sure that you have a good, whether it's a Wi-Fi connection or a cellular connection, to make sure that you're able to fully load everything and properly sync as well. Because if you can use it in offline mode, but anything you do won't be synced to the cloud until you establish that connection again. So, that's one of the key points. One of the troubleshooting steps that we always recommend if someone's saying, well, something didn't update, I don't see this new module, I don't see this new program or this database or whatever that I just purchased, making sure that you have a strong enough connection to the cloud to properly sync everything and load everything onto your device there. And then this last point, I forget exactly when we added the MagHealy programs, the resonance analysis for the MagHealy programs, but you might think, okay, well, my MagHealy is connected. Maybe I'm running the Meridian module with my MagHealy in the Analyze app. And then you go to okay, I want to do a resonance analysis just for the MagHealy programs, but you get the message saying basically to connect to your Healy or to buy this module or connect to your Healy, actually, because you can only run the analysis for the resonance analysis for the MagHealy program database if your Healy is connected. If your MagHealy is connected, you won't be able to do that. So if you're looking to find out what programs you need the most with the MagHealy right now, just connect your Healy to the Analyze app, do the resonance analysis for the MagHealy programs. You'll find your top 5, and then if you want to, you can of course vibrate those, but then even better, run those programs, at least that top program, with your MagHealy connected to the Healy 2 app later as well. So, I know a lot of us may have already known some of these points here, but altogether, these are the top things that people are still asking related to the Analyze too. It's a lot easier to use, but of course, there's still people that have different knowledge levels as far as the changes that have been made and everything, and how to access everything as well. So thank you so much, Dongni. This is a big help, and we're going to try to, as time permits, sometimes there's a ton of questions and we can't get to it, but we want to have a little segment like this each week on Tech Tip Tuesday, as far as kind of reminders for some people or new information for others that weren't aware of these things. So
I love that. I just had a call or a message the other day where somebody says, I haven't used my Healy in like 9 months or a year, and I want to get back into it now, and nothing works. Like, okay, I can tell you why it's not working. So this is great stuff. Awesome. All right. So Lindley's giving us some kudos there for you, Jake. Trending topic, brilliant idea.
it wasn't my idea. Thank you, Emmanuel, for recommending this too. And you'll see him on one of these calls coming up here in a few weeks also.
All
So we can
right.
thank him during that call also.
So let's talk about my mouse is kind of giving me some trouble here, but I can't quite see what's in the questions, but let's talk about the cloud for a second. How many of
Mhm.
you guys have there's some issue with a quote unquote cloud, okay? When we talk about the cloud with Healy, we're talking about essentially a server, right? We're talking about a place in which information is stored, and Healy has an extremely secure server, right? This is why the authentication process is necessary. Whenever you first get your Healy, you do your login. It sends you an email with a code. Remember, once upon a time, well, those guys that were old timers here used to have a key, right? A master key. Not anymore. So this is the authentication process. The cloud is where your account is housed. Okay, this is the way that Healy is able to sell a piece of equipment, a hardware, right, that has a serial number, and then that particular hardware syncs to an account, aka you, and then it can be serviced in any way. So if, let's say that you do an upgrade, maybe you start with a gold and you do an upgrade. So that's where those upgrades happen. Healy has a tie-in to you and a link to the hardware, and it can activate specific features or deactivate specific features if you're starting and stopping subscriptions, that kind of thing. As well as if you have the resonance or above, you've got, or the holistic and above, you've got a cloud account to store your clients. If you're doing scans, now not just clients, but any scan you do, any client you put into that database, it's got to be stored somewhere. Okay. Otherwise, you would, if you close the app, it goes away, right? Because it's in the app. But that gets synced to the cloud. So this is a reason why you have a cloud. It's information for your clients and such. I know that there's been in the past, probably with other organizations, there's maybe been some kind of a hack or something went wrong or whatever. And if you're concerned about your data, I mean, Healy's pretty secure. It's really hard for anybody to get in there. I don't put a lot of energy into what ifs. Okay. I really don't. Um, if, for instance, I have clients in my cloud account and it gets erased, which that's typically going to be the error to the cautious side, things get erased as opposed to go anywhere, then I start over. But I'm pretty confident that it's secure. I've never had a problem in the years that I've been with Healy. Um, and so, yeah, so that's the reason that there's a cloud, folks. I had a question here about that. I wanted to address it.
Yep. No, it's always very helpful because, for some of this, not sure what exactly this cloud is. You hear
Yeah.
about it, like, oh, that sounds nice, the cloud, whatever. But yeah, so great point there. And we got a couple questions here. Actually, let's take this one question related to the cloud. Then we're going to go into our first giveaway, and we'll come back to your question here, Lindley. But Ken, so the question here was, can we delete things in the cloud if we choose? So you can, if you delete clients or a list or that kind of thing, and it automatically syncs, they will be gone from the cloud at that point. But you can't, there's no like logging to the cloud section and you can see everything stored in the cloud as well. It's just a matter of what you have in the app is then synced to the cloud each time you're connected there.
Yeah. So think of the cloud as just a storage location.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just a storage location. And whenever you put data into if you're able to put data into your Healy app, now, which app can we do that in? You can't do it in the Pink app, can you? No. So you're not going to do anything with the Healy 2 app. That's only designed to utilize the microcurrent portion and the frequency transmission into the body through the hardware directly, either with the coil with the MagHealy or with the connection leads. But where you are able to put data in is in the HealAdvisor Analyze app. Are you able to put data in the HealAdvisor app? You're able to set schedules and such, but and that's pretty much it. And that gets locked into the cloud. Okay, so wherever you're able to put data in or manipulate data, that's where what's gonna be stored, what's gonna be held in the cloud for you. Yeah, and can you manipulate that data? Yes, you can change it. As Jake said, you can delete a client and some of the scans you've done. And then when you do that delete, if you close the app, hard close the app, and then reopen it, it syncs that content. And whatever you deleted is deleted. Okay.
All right. So Ken, what do you think? Should we do giveaway number one?
Let's do it. Giveaway number one. Here we go.
There we go. Let me share my screen again here. And this screen is going to look a little bit familiar for those of you that were on the call in December. So here we go. We got, hold on a second. I got to pull the chat back up here so I can see what the answers are coming in. But okay, so we have here, we're going to give away 3 things today on the call. So we have the custom pink Healy lanyard case, the Healy crossbody bag, Healy backpack, and the blue Healy lanyard case. So on this call, we'll go through this, and then you can pick what you want if you are the winner. Just keep in mind, we can only give away one of the crossbody bags because we have a much more limited inventory of those as well. But yeah, so let me go over to the next slide here. And this question is going to look a little those of you on December, this is an updated version of one of the questions that we had for the end of 2024. So how many questions have we answered on all the Tech Tip Tuesdays combined in 2025? So from January to the episode we had 2 weeks ago, total number of questions that we've addressed on there as well. We'll give everybody 15 seconds, put your answers in the chat, and whoever is closest will get their pick of one of those prizes there. So here we go. Go ahead.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay, good guess, good guess. Keep it coming, keep it coming.
Come on, guys, put a number in there.
We got some people going to the YouTube playlist and adding them all up right now. 67, 95, okay, 18. All right. Let's see. Keep it coming, keep it coming.
Look at that.
Here we go.
I love it.
No, we got a lot more people on the call than this. Here we go. 200. All right, 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds.
All right.
100. 18. We got a big spread here. 48. Oh, you only guessed once, though. Your first guess is the one that counts. All right. 5.
Time's
4,
up.
3, 2, 1. Bing, 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 bing. All right. Here we go. And the answer is 148. So this is actually pretty close between, let's see, Wendy is 52 off, and this is very, wow. So if I'm doing the math correctly, it's Wendy was 52 from the answer, and Sylvana was 53, right? Wait, yeah, 53. So wow. Yeah, 48 plus 5 is 53. Sorry, maybe math isn't our specialty.
We're just doing a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to get down to the answers. Having a little.
Yeah, I think Wendy is the winner here with a guess of 200. So yeah, I mean, Ken, just this year in the first quarter, done 148 different, not even including today's episode, 148 different topics here. So Wendy, send me a private message directly here on Zoom in the chat. Just click on my name in the chat, find me, let me know your address that you want this shipped to, and then also what you want. Do you want the pink Healy lanyard case, the Healy crossbody bag, the Healy backpack, or the blue Healy lanyard case. And my name is Jake Barron. So find my name if you go to the where you're typing the message. So instead of sending it to everybody, find my name, Jake Barron, and then send me the message directly in the chat. And we'll get that out to you later this week. So congratulations, Wendy, our first winner here on the spring celebration for Tech Tip Tuesday. All right.
I love it. Good
Now we
job.
got two more, and as I mentioned, the questions get harder as the the evening goes on.
That one was kind of hard, I think. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of
Yeah,
questions. Yeah, that's pretty great. I love it.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go back up to Dongni already put an answer in the chat here for Lindley, so thank you so much for that. But the question was, since the recent pink update, so the recent update to the Healy 2 app, I can't get my Healy Professional to connect to Bluetooth. I just get the message that the device cannot be found.
There's now remember, our new app allows us to turn Bluetooth chip off in our Healy, right? So maybe if you've done that, I mean, there's a certain way to do that, to turn the Bluetooth off in your Healy. And so even if you turn the Bluetooth off, that function, and then you run your program, and then you use your Healy all day long, and well, honestly, it's not going to work all day long. But if you turn the Bluetooth off, in order to turn it back on, you have to actually hit that power button twice, right? With your Healy hardware, you press that power button, press, and then that re-engages the Bluetooth chip. So if you didn't turn it off, or even accidentally turn it off, if you're not sure, then you can simply press that button twice, click, press, and back on, and then test again. Maybe somehow it got turned off. If that's not the case, we need to investigate a little bit more. Okay. So let me see here. I'm trying to get down.
Yeah, and of course, you can follow the instructions that Dongni put there in the chat as well. But that should get everything up and running there too.
All right. And by the way, folks, if you want to save that chat, if this content's handy for you, there are 3 little dots within your chat box, usually right next to where you would type in right next to the title of our show tonight. Click on that. There's a spot where it says save chat, and it'll save chat at the end of our call. All right. I'm just not able to navigate very well with my mouse not working so good.
Did you have that problem last time, or was that something else that was going on?
I was yeah, I mean, I think my mouse might just be dying. Sorry about that.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think I've had it for about 40 years.
Okay, got a question here. Oh, thank you. So Wendy, just so everyone knows, Wendy chose the pink Healy lanyard case. Awesome choice. We got our shipping address, so we will get that right out to you by the end of this week, and hopefully by next Tech Tip Tuesday, maybe you can show it off for everybody. So
love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but there was a question earlier on here. It says, can I continue to use my MagHealy while it's being charged? So yes, in general, under a regular situation, regular conditions, sure. One thing to keep in mind when you're using your MagHealy while it's being charged, if it's in a hot environment, if you're running at 100% intensity, that kind of thing, there is the potential for the MagHealy to reach a certain temperature, at which point it will stop the charging. You'll get like a heat warning message, kind of similar to you probably may have seen on your phone before. If you leave it in the car, somewhere in the sun, the beach, whatever, it'll say charging has been temporarily interrupted until it reaches a safe temperature, that kind of thing. So yes, you can know a lot of people do that in the evening. They might run like a sleep program or something like that. But if you have it at 100% intensity on the charger, the way that the firmware limits the charging speed there to protect the health of the battery. Sometimes you will run out of battery, even if it's on the charger, if you're running this for 6, 7, 8 hours or whatever the case may be too. But yeah, it's possible to do that. It's just, keep in mind, even if you're using it, a lot of people just leave it on the charger and that's it because they use it, the atmosphere programs or whatever, but it's always good to remove it from the charger, let the battery fully run down, and then do a couple full charge cycles as well. Because if you leave it only on the charger, you're actually going to only be charging it to 60% capacity. That's a protection built into basically like a battery saver mode, essentially. And the way to reset that is to remove it from the charger, run it to below 4% battery, or just fully deplete the battery. And that will reset that sort of battery saver mode, which will then allow you to charge it to the full 100%. So, I mean, in general, yes, but there's a lot of things to keep in mind when you're doing that to make sure that everything is safe and everything good.
Yeah, I typically tell folks, not if you're gonna leave it on the charger, you only do that maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
And usually for like a overnight thing. Only a couple times a week. You want to do at least an 80-20 rule where 80% of the time you're using it to full battery charge and full battery depletion, right? On its own. So in other words, full battery charge, it's on the charger, then you go and use it till it's done, right? But 80% of the time you do it that way. This is going to give you a better healthy battery. That's it. All right.
And if you're only using it on the charger, like with atmosphere programs, you're missing out on some of the most powerful ones, like the McMakin programs that are meant to be placed on, the belly or whatever the case may be, or if it's a specific joint area, the knee, whatever, that kind of thing too. So those are the super powerful. Those are the programs that use 2 frequencies at the same time as well. So it's convenient to use the atmosphere ones, but make sure if you have a MagHealy Pro or a subscription to the other applications, make sure you're utilizing all of them as well.
Yeah, it's designed to go on your body in certain places too, or even the water. You need to put it on top of your water if you're going to use any of those water programs. So yeah, if you have the Pro, if you have the Professional, flex the muscles on that thing.
There you
go. Let's use it. All right. Okay. So Rebecca's asking, what do you mean by atmosphere programs? Great question, because the MagHealy has different modules to it, just different sections or groups of programs, similar to the Healy. The Healy has different pages of programs. Well, the MagHealy has different, I guess, sections or modules. And one of them is called Atmosphere. So the Atmosphere group, it's a group of programs. They're designed to be broadcast into space, into an area, up to a very what is it? 9 meters? No,
10. Yeah, around 10 feet, like 3 meters.
10 feet,
Close to 10 feet.
10 feet ish. Now,
yeah,
it doesn't die at the end of that edge, but that's what Healy maximum effective range. And so if you have it sitting maybe in the center of your table at a meeting, right? It's kind of speaking to everybody. And there's different programs within that atmosphere. Jake, do you have the guide on those?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up here so we can
see what they are.
Also, let's see.
Whenever we open them up in the app, it's got those categories in there. If you've got the MagHealy Professional, it's going to have all the different groups of programs. If you have the other model, it's going to still have, what's it got? It's got the atmosphere, the classic.
Yeah. So this is the app manual for the MagHealy here, and you'll see here on page 8, talks about the atmosphere programs. They create a pulsating magnetic field that extends up to 1.5 meters or 5 feet. So That's from on either side. So that's what we're talking about, 10 feet diameter, basically, and all around it. So yeah, but from the middle of it out 5 feet in each direction there as well.
Up
And
and down, by the way, folks.
yeah,
Are you going up and down? So it's
uh,
spherical.
yeah, exactly. And, this is a great. There's anything programs from study to prosperity, which is a very popular one. Workout Ken, I know you've used that workout program before, right? The atmosphere program.
Yeah.
Um, while using the Healy at the same time as well, which is a great combination. Stress, coherence. There's one for animals as well. A lot of people have a great results using the animal harmony one to help calm pets, maybe that are a little bit stressed or anxious or that kind of thing, to kind of ease them. We've got many reports of people putting on that animal harmony program and the dogs or cats just falling asleep, just resting. So very cool one to try out there as well. So there's a program for everything pretty much in the atmosphere group. 24 different programs, and you'll see they're designed to be used anywhere from 30 to 100% intensity.
And think about this too. I mean, how many of you guys out there, are maybe challenged with a relationship somewhere, whether it's work or a family member or whatever. You can just like slide the MagHealy over next to yourself while you're having it sitting next to the person, right? And let the relationship program start working its magic. I'm just saying. I mean, I love to biohack things. All right. What else we got? So hopefully that
Oh,
makes sense.
yeah. Let me see.
I think we're caught up on questions here. Um, Good question though, Rebecca. That what are the atmosphere programs? And so, there are within the MagHealy, the classics got classic one, classic two. There are, let's see, how many programs are in that? One and two. So there's 14.
Classic is the one, each of the water, atmosphere, and making all up 24. Classic has, I think it's 14
14.
programs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So
and that's one of the reasons also. Let me share my screen again while we have the app manual up here. But you might not realize it when you're just connected to the Healy 2 app with your MagHealy and you're running a program, that there's a big range in the recommended intensity for these programs. And I think the classic group has the biggest range. You'll see some of these are like vitality and head harmony. The recommended intensity is only 5 to 15%. So, there's no real need to put this at 100% when you're going through this. So that's why it's always great to reference this product manual, because not only does it kind of tell you what the purpose is for a lot of these programs, but it gives you how long they are, the recommended intensity too. You'll see for classic, there's a big range, but then when you go down here to water, everything's 100% recommended. You want to have the maximum intensity set there when you're informing the water with these quantum analyzed frequencies there as well. And then we showed earlier the atmosphere programs are 30 to 100%. And then when you go down to McMakin, which we talked about earlier, these are the ones that use two frequencies at the same time. You'll see here, created by Carolyn Macon, the pioneer of interfering dual frequency applications. There's a lot of great information on this. And then also, actually, Healy Academy has a section on the science behind MagHealy as well, too, which is a great resource to check out. So
I like Carolyn's. She coined the phrase with the two frequencies. It's one for the issue and one for the tissue.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's great. She pioneered that technology. Well,
Yeah,
she
absolutely.
pioneered the development of that technology. She's expanded on it a lot. Okay. So Deb's asking the question, when I started using my Healy, it's got 50% power left. Midway through the program, it got ended due to battery was empty. Why? So when when we're looking at the little meter, right, on the app, let's say that we've been using our Healy today, and it was getting down to maybe 40%, 50%, or actually what you would notice, maybe it's even down to 20%. And then you stop using it. You shut the Healy off, you go about your business, you come back later and you start the Healy back up again and you look at your app, it may show 50%. In other words, it may raise in that percentage indication in the app because you've let the Healy sit for a while, and it will kind of reaccumulate, not really reaccumulate a charge, but it reallocates that voltage. And then when you turn the app back on, it may show a higher number, but it will deplete quicker. So my advice is that if you've charged the Healy fully, okay, and you've used it 6 times, and normally you get 6 times out of it, you shut it off, turn it back on, you try to run it a 7th time, right? And maybe it showed 50%, but you know how many programs you get essentially per day, or per charge. That's a much better indicator in my book, because again, the app is not taking little sensors or little leads and measuring the battery power. It's using an algorithm. And sometimes that is a bit off. So you can do a reset on recalibrating that, or you can kind of get an understanding of why, how many programs you get per day out of that one charge. So my question would be, if you're seeing 50% on the app, and then you start a program and it died, how many programs had you run prior to that? How many did you get per day? There is a bit of I don't know. I've seen the same thing. I've seen the same thing. My Healy will, I should say it's the app. The Healy is still doing its job. I know how many I can get out of it every day. But the app may vary because I've turned the Healy off and the app re-engages to the Healy, and it seems the battery is more fresh than it was.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dongni can she's probably on it right now, just about to do it. Put the steps in there there it is.
There it is.
Thank you, Dongni, for doing the hard reset, and then kind of going through the process to recalibrate, essentially there also. But yeah, so there's a couple things you can try there as well. A lot of times that hard reset, we'll fix that. So especially if you haven't done one in a while, the hard reset a lot of times will fix this issue, fix Bluetooth connection issue, fix all kinds of issues. So when in doubt, you can always try the good old trusty hard reset.
Yeah, it really does reset things back to factory settings. Just give it a reset of all the different, I guess they're digital latches. So Julie, you're sending me messages directly to me, instead of the whole group. So, but here's a direct message. So what you do, by the way, folks, if you've, when you're going to send a message in your little chat box area, there's a 2, it says 2 : and then there's a blue, something. Click it to everybody so that it's in the whole full group. Unless, as Jake mentioned earlier, send a private message to Jake because he's trying to get your address. You don't need to give everybody your address. Okay. Just give it to Jake. But Julie's, take a look, and you've got it because Julie's putting questions in the chat, but only to me. So here's her question. The question is, can you run the MagHealy frequencies in the Blue app or alone, or with, or the same time as you've shown? Okay, in other words, can you run things in the Blue app at the same time as the Pink app? If you're talking about on the same device, the answer would be no. So in other words, whether it's a MagHealy or a Healy, it can only be connected to one app at a time. Okay, so if you're using it from, say, the HealAdvisor Analyze, that function, through, say, the quantum entanglement, if you're using either one of these hardwares in that respect, it's going to be only utilized in that respect. Okay. If you're going to run the magnetic energy through the MagHealy from the Pink app, then it cannot be connected to the blue app. And nor can the pink app be connected to, you can connect multiple devices and run them through the pink app, but still it's only going to connect to one device at a time. There are ways that you can use the pink app to start one device, shut it down, hook up to another device, start it up, and run them simultaneously that way. Okay. Um, there are ways to run one from a pink app and one from a blue app, but you're not going to run them both from the blue app at the same time. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you could, since to vibrate the MagHealy programs in the Analyze app, you have to use your Healy device. And then to run those same programs, you have to use your MagHealy and the Healy 2 app. So you're talking, at that point, you're talking two different devices. So yeah, it depends on exactly what you're trying to accomplish there.
I mean, there's so many. It's interesting. There are some rules, but it's pretty diverse in what we can do.
But then you also have to keep in mind having both apps open at the same time running programs too. So yeah, you can, as Ken mentioned, you can always start the program or run the program with your MagHealy, get it going in the Healy 2 app, just close that out if you want, and then go do something in the Analyze app at that point too. That way there's less of a chance of sort of Bluetooth issue or app issue connectivity there. But
that might be a fun Healy for beginners and beyond one day about how can you hack hack the apps and the hardware. How can you, I mean, I've done quite a few. I've had 4 devices running at the same time. 4 pieces of hardware at the same time. 2 MagHealys and 2 Healys at the same time.
All right, Ken. Time for giveaway number 2. I think it is. So we have a couple more questions waiting in the chat. So we'll do giveaway number 2, come back to those questions, and then we'll finish the call with the last question, which, it's the hardest question too. But let's go ahead and I'll share my screen again. Giveaway number 2. This question is similar to the one that we just shared, but this one's a longer period of time, and also, so since January 2023, so 2 years and 3 months, so 27 months. How many questions have we covered here on Tech Tip Tuesday? And for this particular question, we're throwing in Healy for beginners and beyond as well. Total number. So you saw for the first quarter so far, the first quarter, we've had around 148. I think the answer was there. So start adding these up in your head. We'll give you 30 seconds to try to come up with an answer here, but put it in the chat as soon as you have a good estimate here. Rebecca's coming in with 2,123. Awesome. So let's see what else we got coming in here as well. This is a tough one. Once you start extending that period of time out, these numbers can get pretty big as well. So, but I love these questions because it shows you how many topics we've covered on these calls. We do them most weeks of the year. Sometimes we miss one like last week too, but 3,500 from Lisa. Ethel, 4,329. Awesome. Let's see, the numbers are getting bigger. Look, 5,200.
That's a lot.
1856. All right, that's a good guess here too. I'll give 10 more seconds here. So finalize what number you're calculating in your head, put it into the chat, and let's see what we got here. So
yeah, and you know that there's a lot less Healy for beginners and beyond than there is Tech Tip Tuesdays over the time, but still.
Yes, true. But there is an impact there. So okay, 5 more seconds here, everybody.
Come on, everybody, just throw some numbers in there. You got
3.
this.
Finish typing, finish typing, press enter, send. 3, 2, 1.
That's it.
Time is up. Okay, so let's go here, and the answer is 1,782. So Beta, that was an awesome guess. 1,856. I mean, considering
That's pretty
The
close.
long period of time, we were talking less than a 10% difference here between them. That's an awesome guess. Congratulations. So you heard me earlier. Send me a private message here, direct message in the chat, and just let me know what you want. First of all, of course, we have you can still pick between either of the Healy lanyard cases, the pink or the blue, the Healy crossbody bag, or the Healy backpack. So just let me know. You can send that to me directly, and also include your email address and the shipping address that you want it shipped to, and we'll get that out to you this week. So awesome! That was one of the closest guesses I think we've had for that big of a number. But the last question, which we'll do here in less than 10 minutes, this is good. That's going to be the most fun one of the night. So.
The last question is going to be the fun one, everybody. All right. That was a good guess. Good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, where did we leave off here?
Yeah, I'm trying to see that myself. Let's see. Hmm.
I think from Rebecca here. So the Analyze app suggested a program group that I didn't have access to in the Healy app. So yeah, that happens because when you're running a resonance analysis, it's basically the same database as well for everybody, regardless of which edition that you have. So the question is though, even though I don't have access to that in the Healy 2 app, when I'm running this in the Analyze app, am I still getting that frequency? I just can't run it. Yeah, so everything is the same with the Analyze app. If you have access to it there and can vibrate it there, there's no different. It doesn't matter that you don't have access. You're not getting like a limited version of that if you're able to vibrate that particular program. You're getting the same benefits from vibrating that particular program as somebody that does have access to that program via the Analyze app or via the Healy 2 app does. You can't run it in the Healy 2 app and get the benefits of microcurrent for that particular program. So absolutely, you can go ahead and vibrate that.
And Julie had another question here about talking about the document advised 10 minutes with the MagHealy, yet how long to run with the Healy. So remember, with the MagHealy and the Healy, we're talking about two different program sets. The MagHealy has different capabilities, different strengths. It's got, it's designed a little bit differently. So that's why the document's telling you a certain bandwidth of time for these different programs. The Healy, when you're running, let's say anything from the Pink app, it's got its own timer. Each program has a set timer. Now, if you'll notice when you look at that program, before you start the program in the app, it's going to give you some characteristics of the program, like how to connect to your body with it, right? It's going to tell you how often to use it, like per day, per week. It's going to tell you some other things, such as the time, how long. But you'll notice it says max duration of the time. So in other words, let's say it's a 52-minute program. It'll say max duration 52 minutes. All right, great. So then you hook up to the Healy, you start running the program. And if you're paying attention to the app the entire time, you're going to see that some of those frequencies being applied to your body eventually wind up getting to 100% resonance. In other words, your body gets full, right? It's completely charged up with that program or that frequency. When that happens, it kicks that frequency out of the rotation. At that point, you won't see that frequency again. If that happens with all those frequencies, and in other words, your body's just uptaking the content that the program is wanting to give it, then the program could end earlier than 52 minutes. So that's why it says max duration is 52. Doesn't mean minimum duration is 52 because it could end earlier. So we're talking about two different things. The duration of the programs with the MagHealy versus the duration of the programs with the Healy. And like I said, the Healy has their own timer. Okay. All right. What else do we have here?
Okay, it says, hold on a second.
I'm trying to get down there. Let me see.
think there was two. Okay, it says from Ethel, does it help to drain the battery down totally to hold the start button down and count to 1021 once or more times? So I don't, as far as trying to hold down the battery to fully deplete it, that's not, to fully deplete it, it's mainly just to run a program till it stops at that point, not to hold the battery down to deplete it, not to hold the button down to deplete it even more, right?
Right.
I think is what we're
Right. Yeah, so holding down the button on the Healy hardware itself does not deplete the battery. That's not what we're talking about. Holding down the button is the reset process. And the way you can tell if you're in reset or not is that the green light, when you hold down the button, the green light will eventually, after 10 seconds, 15 seconds, something like that, the green light will come on bright and full. Okay. Then release the finger, and that green light will stay on for about 3 seconds and then go off. That's an indicator that you've reset your healing. It has nothing to do with depleting the battery. That function of reset is just part of the process for resetting some of the battery algorithms. Okay, so a little different. The instructions that were in there about how you kind of do that battery reset function it includes resetting the Healy. Okay, so again, holding down that button for longer than the duration it needs to get that green light to come on solid won't make any difference. Okay. What else? I'm really struggling with my poor little mouse here. Trying to get down to the questions and such. I got a bad connection or something in my mouse. And so,
There was, hold on a second here. I think there was a question about deep cycle from Tara. Let me see here if I can pull this back up.
okay. Great questions, you guys, by the way. Thank you for keeping them coming. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything new.
So actually, let me address this one related to the deep cycle. We'll do this question and then we'll finish the call with the last giveaway here. So back to the app manual. So we showed the MagHealy manual earlier. Now we're back to the Healy app manual. And for questions about Deep Cycle H, I know it's the name, it was originally Deep Cycle, then Deep Cycle H, and kind of changed over time. And now they're, in general, again, just referred to as Deep Cycle at this point. But when you look at if you go to the product manual here, for example, we're looking at, hold on a second here. Where did the chat? Oh, there we go. Okay, so I couldn't find the chat for a second there. But there's a description, of course, of what the deep cycle is here. This is the original one. You see, this is the one, that's the original because it has first application, second application, third application. And really the only difference between Deep Cycle H, if you scroll down here, are the first three programs. So you have these kind of three separated first, second, third. And if you go down here further, you'll see sensitive, energy work, and pure energy. So basically, Deep Cycle, these are the three programs that replace first, second, and third at that point. The other 9 programs are the same. There's no difference at all in there. And there's a little bit of a description here at the top as far as it says the Deep Cycle first, second, third. I know this is confusing. So the Deep Cycle first, second, and third application programs are not contained in Deep Cycle. which is the same same thing there. But instead, we recommend using sensitive IMF program for users that are new to frequency modulated microcurrent application. So there's a pretty good description for each of these as well. So I hope this helps. I understand the name can be a little bit confusing here, but there's some decent descriptions here as far as what these program groups are for. So,
And which one you have, Deep Cycle versus Deep Cycle H, will depend on what year your device is, right?
sure, yeah. So the original one, there's no way to add that one at this point, but again, they're very similar here as well. So Ken, it's actually 9:01, but we need to do this last giveaway. This is very important. Everyone's been hanging in here till the end for this last question. So let me go ahead and let me share my screen again, get to the right slide, and let me share here. Okay, giveaway number 3. Oh, gotta click share. Giveaway number 3. How many analyses were run in the HealAdvisor Analyse 2 app in 2024 globally? So,
wow,
all users, all countries, globally, and this actually this answer was, I don't know if anybody, I'm not going to say where it was mentioned, but this answer was actually made public a couple months ago, but I actually didn't even have it written down. So we'll see if anyone here in the chat was taking notes during one of the prior global calls as well. So this is it's a tough one. So go ahead, put your answers into the chat here. Just keep in mind, this is all users globally, the entire year of 2024, using just the Analyze 2 app. How many analyses were run total? This includes everything, not just residence analysis. It can be coach and Aura and all that kind of thing as well. So I'll give everybody 30 seconds here. This is a tough one to calculate, but put your best guess here into the chat, and you'll have your choice of one of those prizes that we had shown earlier too. So
there you go. Here comes the numbers.
Lingley with 7 million, Athol 15,000, Tara 326 million.
2 billion.
Awesome. Rebecca 12,250,000. Julie K 2 billion. Oh yeah, there we go. I like that one.
A lot.
4 million from Sylvana. Okay, we'll do.
I know some people that run 2 scans a day, so it's like
Exactly. If you try to do the math, we might be here for another hour. But as far as calculating the number of users and everything, but Sylvana 4 million, Lisa 6.5 million. Okay, we'll do 5 more seconds here. If you're not sure, just put something in the chat. You might win.
Put something in. You never know,
yeah.
right? Do
5,
it. Here we go.
4, 3,
there we
2,
go.
1. Okay,
Boom.
time is up, and the answer is 53 million.
Wow.
55,781. So let's go to the chat here. We had a lot of great guesses. Who is
Let's see.
closest? I think
7 million is there.
I think Rebecca's closest, right? 12 million? Because 326 million. Yeah, so that was within around 40,000 or so. Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, Ken, but I'm pretty sure Rebecca is the winner. So
I mean, it went way over. But yeah, I think Rebecca's the closest right there.
Yeah, so Rebecca, congratulations. So we'll stay on the call here, but quickly send me a direct message with what you would like: the blue lanyard case, pink lanyard case, Healy crossbody bag, or the Healy backpack, and also include your email and your shipping address. I'll stand here for another minute or so. Just send it me directly in the chat, or if you don't care, everyone see that, you can just put it there in the chat also. But yeah, so Ken, this is, and actually this was shared during Healy World Meets the World in January on that call. So that's why I was saying that the answer was given out there. But if you think about this, if you do the math, you're talking hundreds of thousands of people running analysis every single day the entire year. So of course, some people do more than one per day. Some people don't do it every single day. I don't run an analysis every single day in the Analyze app, but it kind of shows you the reach we have globally, and we're still a young company, still growing, still expanding around the world. So it's pretty amazing. So that's not just the USA, that's
No,
globally.
that's
Um,
globally. Yeah,
yeah.
globally.
So
Oh. How many people have Healys?
I don't
That's
know. Maybe that's a future trivia quiz for our next quarter.
that we'll have to listen for that on the next
Yeah.
season friends, right? Maybe that's going to come up, and that'll be another question on one of our later episodes. So,
Yeah. So Rebecca made her. So we actually, the pink lanyard case was the most popular item today. All three giveaways requested the pink Healy lanyard case. So awesome. That's a great pick. Awesome choice. And I
nice.
think when you see it in person, you'll be even more impressed as well. So Rebecca, though, if you could, I got your email address here and your choice, but you could still put your shipping address into the chat. If not, if we get disconnected or something, I can just email you later as well to just the shipping address where you want the actual lanyard case shipped to will help. Again, if I don't get it on the call tonight, I'll just send you an email and we'll confirm that later as well. Don't want to keep everybody waiting, but
You guys.
yeah, that was a lot of fun tonight. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Dongni. Ken,
Yeah.
anything you want to close the call with?
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, hey, quick, click on that little three buttons there or three dots to save the chat if you want to keep this content. Otherwise, we will see you guys again next week. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Dongni. It was fun, and enjoy those new prizes, everybody. All right. See you next time. Bye, everybody.
Come on.